SQL injection based on quotation equals quotation is always true. Below I have a common construction used to verify user login to a website. So the input field would look like username, and then we'd have a text box here, and then password, and we'd have a text box here. And so we have username equals get request string username. This is the server code now. User pass equals get request string user pass. SQL equals select star from users where name equals single quote double quote plus username plus double quote single quote, and pass equals single quote double quote plus user pass plus single quote inside double quotes. Anyway, if somebody uses that input into, if somebody puts this input into your two fields, this into your username and this into your password, the server will basically run this statement, and what will happen is there will be an insertion of this, the single quote, or this into the username or password text box. And so the code at the server will create a valid SQL statement that will say select all from users where name equals basically a string or equals inside double quotes or basically an equal sign, and the password equals a string or the password equals itself basically. And that will basically give the hacker access to the usernames and passwords in the database. So they're saying select all from users where the name is a string or the name equals itself, and the same criteria for password. You can also be injected potentially with SQL injection based on batch SQL. So using select star from users, drop table suppliers. SQL returns all rows in the users table and then deletes the table called suppliers. So if our code looked like this, and somebody input this, the server code would run this and basically delete our table. So those are some potential things that can happen if you're building a website and using SQL, and you're only thinking about kind of the minimum functionality, what the program needs to do. You also, if you're using SQL to process any input field, you need to think, how might I be hacked by doing this? And you need to prevent those methods. So keep in mind, people can write SQL in your input fields. And these are some common ways that hackers do that. And they can really mess up your website or your data. Or maybe they don't mess anything up. They just grab your data and use it for their own purposes or sell it to a competitor or what have you. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at some parameters we can use to protect against these techniques.